we haven't seen a Kaja pick being picked up by Rrq Hoshi even last season in our MPL. So I'm quite interested to know who is going where, but as you can see here, Evos is going to, finish things off with the Lolita pick here coming through as that roamer.
Yeah, the Lolita shields is just good to deal with the Way of the Dragon. They needed some sort of response, and I feel like maybe the Diggy would have been better, but just to deal with CC, but they would have to deal with Lemon's 1-1. But as of yet, the game is about to start, the decider match. Who is going to advance and who is going to bow out? The response has been made. The first ever Kaja here in MSC 2022, played by Rrq. Is it going to work out? I don't know yet. There's just so much uncertainty, but at the same time, the burst potential may work out as the Divine Judgment helps out the Xavier a lot. Whereas Evos SG going for the Julian in this vicinity, and that is going to be on the jungle roll once again. Who's going to come on top? Ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 3, the final game of MSC Playoffs, day number 1. Rrq versus Evos SG.
This is going to be a huge deciding factor as well as who is going to have to make it and claw their way from that lower bracket. But as you can see here, Alberttt is going to be playing on the Akai in that jungle position. Now, I have doubts on this, right? I mean, there was so much speculation coming through with this going into the SEA Games. We don't see that much potential coming in from Alberttt during that time because he doesn't seem really accustomed to this type of hero. But we'll see how this pans out.
You know, the one thing I like about Kaja, and now that we're going to see how this plays out, right? It's his debut. But with Divine Judgment, and then you have it paired up, right? It makes it a little bit easier for the 1-1 to get those weak points off, depending on how you want to drag your opponent that you target. So that's going to be huge. Also, I think a lot of people undervalue the damage coming out from Kaja too. Also, the poke potential that's there. So we'll see how that plays out. This matchup, though, in the bottom lane, right? 1-1 versus Beatrix. I feel like this is a great way to, again, go back to their keys of victory, right? Focus on Adammir. Don't allow him to get, or eventually he's going to get there, but delay it as much as possible.
I don't remember the last time I saw a support Kaja for a very long time. This is like, what, 4, 5, 6 seasons ago? Seems like it is going to work out as an annoyance. We did see a little bit of comeback from Kaja on the XP lane a little bit more, so I was expecting that to happen, but seems like they're comfortable with R7 on the Cho instead of the Kaja, so they just want to keep up pressure against this Grok rather than the Kaja instead.
100%, but now Rrq Hoshi, they're kind of on a timer here because they need to be able to take it as fast as they can, understanding that it is going to be the Sicilian there in that mid side who won't stop scaling. And Rrq Hoshi, with this advantage in that early game, they need to be able to capitalize on this wholeheartedly now that the turtle has already spawned in the Land of Dawn, and it is going to be a huge contest between both teams.
As of now, Lemon, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble as well, taking a little bit too much damage. He doesn't have the level 4 yet, but at the same time, the turtle has been contested up top, and Rrq will get an absolute freebie considering that the members of Evos SG has been pressuring Lemon. So it's not that end of the world, but Evos SG, they will concede the objectives for now.
I think that's the best thing you could do, right? Rrq just going to get that free first turtle. There's really no point for Evos SG to actually contest that right now. Just play it safe. I mean, this is, you want to get to the late game because like you mentioned, Eterna, that scaling potential for that Sicilian needs to be there because right now, their early game, they're not going to match the damage that Rrq has.
Yep, and as of yet, looks like there is going to be a catch-up as well. Seilah is going to get caught out. He manages to flickers out of the heavy spin, but they're overcommitted to display. They can't seem to take him down. Eventually, he will bow out. JPL trying his best to keep him alive, but here comes the Divine Judgment. They do catch Adammir. He needs to make a run for it. He's dropping so low. A big wall charge stops him in the track, and Adammir, he survives, but the Dawning Light won't be enough to seal the deal, but it buys enough time for Evos SG to fight back, and that's going to be a marksman for a marksman, and R7 also on top of it all.
I was going to say that Evo Singapore, they can't play as aggressive as that, but the way that Nick is playing, they can actually be punishing Rrq Hoshi for going in for those engages. And I gotta say, Nick is like a game-changing role here, as now we're going to take a little look into the emblems.
Man, again, focusing on Nick here, this is, I like to see these aggressive Grok playstyles pounded up. Oh, hold on, the heavy spin right on Adammir. He's going to be in trouble right under the turret. You can't escape that one. They find a kill.
Oh, that was a big, big kill coming from Rrq Hoshi. They needed that kill to actually slow down his progression because that should not have happened in the hands of Evos SG early on. Like RQ, they had the big jump, they got the Divine Judgment, they were doing so much in that fight, but it took almost forever to kill Adammir. And with this pickoff, it's going to give them a little bit more space, especially for Lemon to actually scale in towards the game again. And this time, look at this, Lemon, because of that kill, his level 6 is one level ahead of Adammir, and this is going to put a dent into his Evos SG's momentum as of yet.
And you can even tell, even by the gold difference, already 1,000 here in the 4th minute, and it does seem like they are going to be circling around this this turtle, as... Oh, but I think Evos, they might want to actually contest this. Is this going to be a mistake?
Yeah, I agree as well. Lemon is just so low to fight this, but Evos, they're trying to force reactions win. Manages to size the Sanguine Claw, but Evos, they are going to make work as well. Dawning Light tries to chip at the HP, but it's going to be very difficult. Look at Nick. He's making sure that R7 doesn't catch them all, but Evos SG here taking a little bit too much damage. Rrq might get a freebie just like that. Looks like Evos SG might be forced to concede the turtle once again. Numenon Blast comes in, but it's not going to do too much. But oh no! Vin, he gets caught out! He tried to go for a Divine Judgment, but now he got caught out by Gear, and because of this, Rrq, they're trapped in this position, and Seilah survives to tell the tale, and the blunder has been made, and Rrq, they got picked off for absolutely nothing.
I'm trying to think about that team fight right there because I mean, they're slowly getting the lead, right? 3-3. It goes in the hands here, though. Like, most of these kills are going in the hands of Clayyy, which is your best case scenario right now because, again, you're just buying time for Lemon. But look at the hesitation from Evos SG, right? And a lot of that is because of the threat of having a Kaja. I think no one wants to get Divine Judgment, right? Not only that, but also that combination of Flicker Divine Judgment is actually really threatening. So you can see it. I mean, that's why he's going in these positions here behind the turret, and they grabbed that turret of the game. The first one, actually.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Gear was just so fast on his fingers, and look at him. He's making sure that Vin doesn't pull that kind of business again, and he's going to try and set up for the team as well. Heavy's being casted into play. Rrq Hoshi, they try to save him all, but the rest of Team Evos SG is going to pop off the back lines, and they get chipped away, and Gear survives it all.
This is crazy, right? Rrq Hoshi, they on paper have the better draft in that early game, but for a reason, it's got to be Nick. He's always able to just capitalize on these movements coming in from Rrq Hoshi. And now, Rrq Hoshi, they were leading in terms of kills, but it has actually been leveled up and even upped a bit for the side of Evo Singapore, even though Rrq Hoshi has had the better traits on those objectives.
Yep. I like how Gear is just playing it as if he's playing it like a Benedetta, right? The beauty about Julian is that it's like a hybrid version of Benedetta, and it's also a hybrid version of a what? I would say a big AoE, I would say roamer to a certain degree as a setup when it comes to those enhanced chains. And so far, he's been mixing it up so cleanly so far. But now, the third turtle coming in, Rrq Hoshi is going to be in position once again. But wait, now he goes for the catch, but the wall charge keeps him alive. JP was going to be okay, but it's a tank for a tank. Numenon Blast comes in, it connects on 4, and they cannot do anything. But the heavy spin is going to keep Evos SG in check, and they have to retreat. But the wall barrier comes in. Albert is going to be able to escape this, but still too close to be called comfort for Rrq Hoshi because they might have dropped the ball. But both sides got to be very happy with this engagement. The only thing they lost out was only the turtle objectives.
But you gotta see, I mean, even though they are kind of equaling out in these trades, there aren't any like victims to whatever is happening with those skirmishes, those team fights. Rrq Hoshi, they're getting the better trades on the objectives. And what I mean is that Evo Singapore, they've lost 2 turrets already.
2 turrets, 3 turtles, the gold gap already widening here. I mean, this is tough. This is a tough situation for Evos SG to be in, but now they're looking for R7 here. 3 members in the top lane. Turret's going to get taken out. There's the Numenon Blast. Oh, R7 need to be able to escape this. That's too much damage coming out, but it's so far so good. Oh, almost. Dawning Light there coming out as well, but they find a kill up top.
Great predictions coming from Gear, anticipating that was pretty much his only way of escaping, even pre-shotting it all the way to allowing the kill in the hands of Adammir. And because of this, they are going to make a little bit more space for the rest of the members of Rrq, because now Lemon is going to take a free tier 2 down bottom. And as of now, the items as of yet, he does have the Corrosion Scythe, he does have the Demon Hunter Sword, and his next item is potentially going to be the Athena Shield to deal with both the Seceded as well as the Julian.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit more time for the Seilah to scale, understanding that only the Clock of Destiny has been secured by him. But once he gets at least that Lightning Truncheon, you will see his damage go up quite spectacularly. Rrq Hoshi with once almost a 3,000 gold lead, but wait a minute!
Uh-oh. The Divine Judgment comes in. As soon as we talk about Seilah, he just literally gets picked off. And now Evos, they want to fight this as well. The wall charge connects onto it. They're not too happy about this, but the Berries comes in. And Lemon looking for the setup with the crossbow tanks is going to scare off Evos SG. They will respect this axe as they back off. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but they've lost their mage, Adammir. Clearing off the minions, but the Lord is coming away. Lemon looking for the proc here. Might be in a little bit of trouble. He might actually die to this. Lemon is looking for the chase, and here comes R7 from the side with the assist. They take down the jungler, and now the Lord is up for grabs. No retribution contest whatsoever.
Yeah, we could see that. And now it's going to be Rrq Hoshi with the extra space here to be able to take this Lord. I don't know what happened. I thought Vin made a big mistake, but R7 is just so good with the flanks and is so good at those pickoffs. And Evo Singapore, they need to be able to anticipate these kind of movements coming in from R7.
I definitely agree. There was a big mistake coming from Evos SG, but at the same time, who could blame him? Like, every single time Vin goes for this engagement, it's just so unpredictable, and Seilah was just caught in the wrong side, and there was just one small mistake in terms of position that allowed RRQ to benefit and punish from this. And even so, they are only 3.5k beat ahead, and now they are going to force the issue. Vin is going to get caught out, but does he go down? No, he does not. Albert saves the day with his Archive. He keeps them all in check, and Lemon is going crazy with the crossbow tanks. Everyone from Evos SG is crumbling to pieces, but it's not over yet. As long as Adammir is alive, RRQ respects the threat that he brings to the table.
I feel like RRQ has pretty much Evos SG right where they want them. I mean, they're winning some skirmishes here and there, but you have to look at the objectives, right? It's the objective game after all. So they're happy with grabbing that, pretty much all the turtles. They've got those 4 turrets. They had that first Lord. They're finding the space around the map, buying time, because notice, Seilah has died 3 times, right? This is a mage that needs time to scale. You have to be alive to get those stacks to scale. And right now, Rrq Hoshi is exactly countering that from happening. That's what Vin is doing. He is finding Seilah, whether that's the Divine Judgment with the Flicker or not, he's taking that out of the picture. So it's delaying that power spike longer and longer for Evos SG. They need to work around that or find some form of hope here to get back into this game, because the gold lead will continue to build and build and build, and those cooldowns become lower and lower.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This is going to be a very difficult situation for both the teams, especially coming from Evos as well, as the timers are slowly ticking away. Here, as of yet, he's been doing very, very well, but can he replicate the same situation as he did with Benedetta? Can he make enough space to buy time for both Seilah, Cecilion, as well as Adammir's Beatrix?
But remember, it is already 12 minutes in, so they do need to just get a little bit more time, and that actually might be achievable. I don't want to count Evos SG out just yet, because like we saw in that previous game, Evo Singapore, even though the odds are stacked against them, they do have the way to kind of come back in this sort of situation. But it does seem for the moment that Rrq Hoshi has the better terms of clear and wave manipulation, and they might just be able to capitalize on that in that mid lane.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This could be a very, very difficult situation to be in. But let's take a look at the damage dealt so far coming in from both these teams so far. Clayyy is hitting 41,000. Adammir is not doing too bad himself. So this is going to be 2 important player heroes to watch out when it comes to doing damage in terms across of the team fights. But what is really surprising for me was that Gear is actually below the Archive, which is not what I was expecting at all.
Not only that, but you saw the damage of Seilah, right? That's what I was pointing out earlier. They are stopping him from getting to the point that he needs to. He was just above Lolita. So that's going to be a little bit of a bad news bears for them. But right now they're going to head and start up the Lord. It's lower than half health. Meanwhile, R7 with the Way of the Dragon just trying to get his attention on him. Flickers out. Lord's going to be taken here. 4.3k gold ahead. Conceal play going to come out. Vin finding the target. Finds Adammir. There goes Albert with a heavy spin. On top of JPL. He's in trouble. Lemon takes quite a bit of damage returning, and he has to back off as well. They don't lose anyone just yet. They have to run away. They do have the Lord going to be marching down. Donnie Light's going to come out. JPL's pretty low. Gear has the immortality, but he's still going to be fine. They find the CC. Nick, you got to get out of there, buddy. Flickers out. Everybody is still alive.
Oh, that was a huge huge play coming from both these teams, especially coming from Adammir as well. He got caught out with the Divine Judgment and the Heavy Spin, and in a brief moment, he was able to flicker across the wall, get out of the situation, and re-engage. But it's just so unfortunate that he could not continue the fight because Clay's Dawning Light just completely hit on him. And even so, it was just a great response from both teams.
Yeah, Rrq Hoshi, they really are trying to get really and way more aggressive now that we are entering the later stage of the game. A 4,000 gold lead, they are going to be able to pick up another turret in that mid side, the top side, as the Lord is going to be marching there in that bottom side.
And yeah, and then bottom side as well, the Lord is going to be knocking in. Evos actually, they have to figure a way because it's all tallied up. Vid still has the Divine Judgment as well, but he doesn't have the flicker. It's only 30 seconds on the side, so this might be an opportunity for Evos to try and punish any sort of mistakes. But now, with the Dawning Light coming in, they are not going to be able to do too much here. Still trying to bait some sort of reactions, and Nick is just taking a little bit too much from this. But it seems like Rrq, they're playing the safe card once again.
I don't know. This feels a little too deja vu for me for game number 2. I mean, this is the exact same spot that we saw Rrq Hoshi as well as Evos Singapore be in until Evos Singapore was able to just bait a lot of time from Rrq Hoshi because they are playing really, really safe.
The Dawning Light starting to hit like a truck. I feel like Evos SG, they gotta play like game number 2 in terms of itemization and progression. Adammir as well as Seilah can't exactly tank the Dawning Light burst as well. So they need to be very, very smart in their places of choice to actually take a fight as of yet.
I mean, at this point, all they can do, Seilah has to get stacked, and that's pretty much going to be done from the base. The initiation comes out. Gear does have no mortality, not going to be committed on just yet. Nick trying to find a setup. Lemon could be in trouble. Divine Judgment, not just yet. There's the heavy spin. They're trying to zone them out. Gear, you're going to be in trouble right here. Gets slammed into, and mortality's going to be popped. Adammir also really low. The bad impact. They find one here. Gear goes down. Rrq. 6K gold lead ahead. Oh my goodness, the snipe!
Clayyy, he just saw everything. He knew exactly what was happening. The minions were pushing on towards Evos SG. They had no choice but to back out instead of committing because the minions are just shoved in. This is just so unlucky, but well played to Rrq Hoshi. That was a beautiful execution coming in from Clayyy. That completely shocked us all.
Yeah, 2 members taken down right now, and Rrq Hoshi will have the space to claim this next Lord. But what I wanted to highlight from that previous team fight was the way that Alberttt used his heavy spin to be able to cancel the Numnon Blast coming in from Evos Singapore. And that was just a huge momentum for Rrq Hoshi because of that lack of CC that could have potentially lost Rrq Hoshi that team fight.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This is anyone's game as of yet, but I feel like Rrq Hoshi is in prime position to close up a game unless, I don't want to jinx it, unless Evos SG decides to stall it out for a maybe, like you said as well, 40-minute game? 60. It could happen.
60.
Really, 60?
I think they're going to need maybe 15 minutes or so here minimum because at this point, Rrq so far ahead in the gold lead, now going to be marching into the base. It is exposed. Top turret's going to be taken out. Focusing on the Lord, taking quite a bit of damage. There's the pull. Divine Judgment plus the Dawning Light. It's just way too much for Evos SG to handle. Can they defend this one? Rrq going in. They find another target. Immortality's going to be popped. JPL, goodbye. Now the focus on Adammir. He's trying to get something. Finds one. Another Dawning Light comes out. Vid trying to get a target. Focusing on the crystal, and they're going to do it. Rrq taking game number 3.
A bigger, a badder, Rrq Hoshi, Kings of the Galaxy, going to start their journey there in the upper brackets.
Oh, that was such a close call indeed, but Rrq